If you look at the chart right now, we went up like crazy. And the topic of this part of the course was, how do I trade? Well, the truth is, I lose all the time in terms of missing out on money. Now, I spoke about risk management and your mindset and everything else and not chasing trades, not FOMOing. But a big part about what I do, especially with the new strategy recently with like the last year of just closing trades early, is I miss out on a lot of money. And for some people, that's make or break, right? Like when you see that you lose out on money, you're like, fuck, I need to re-enter right now. I need to start chasing these trades. Rule number 1 of how I take a trade: never chase a motherfucking trade. Now, I am literally, as I'm recording this video, I currently lost out on probably 6 figures. Like, no bullshit. An easy 6 figures. Stuff that was literally in the fucking bag that I already had planned. I already knew we were going to go to this area, this 220 area, and we went a little bit higher, almost 230. But I wanted to break down today some of the trades that we've taken, some of the trades that, I missed out on, and show you guys how my thought process works when it comes to entering and exiting a position, because this is actually kind of diabolical, bro. Like, this is honestly kind of insane. Like, to be quite frank, this is nuts. This was an enormous amount of money that was lost and potential profits that we already had locked in. But that's the name of the game. You win some, sometimes you win a lot less than you could, and sometimes you lose, and it is what it is. But on June 22nd, I entered an automated long at 194. Now, I want you guys to understand my thought process with this, so I'm going to go on the charts, and I'm going to show you right now what I saw to make me think, damn, we need to long. So, we had a massive dump. This was the tariff dump that we had. Everything was kind of shitting the brick. Everybody was freaking the fuck out. They were like, oh my God, it's over. Recession, World War III, yada, yada, yada. We went down, and we tested this immediately. And what have I told you guys with the level strategy? Anytime we go to a yellow line, it is a critical area. And go fucking figure. I enter right here at $1.94, a little bit less. My thought process when I entered this was I saw all the big dogs buying. I saw everybody still panicking, and I saw, the inflows coming in, and people were fucking longing the shit out of XRP. And I said, you know what? If I enter here, if we go down to this level that we had, a couple months ago when we had, what was it? This right here. We went down to $1.60. I have enough, I have 2 extra entries I could do because the 3 trade rule, that I can enter even more if we go down here. And I'll lower my size. And that's what we did. And unfortunately for me, I didn't even get the chance to get a better entry. That was the best entry. And, I thought maybe we'd get a little bit lower and then I could close certain positions out. But we only got one shot on this one. I entered at 194 and I said take profit around $2. Now, yeah, we went to $2 immediately. Like, literally, immediately after I entered that position. But I closed. Majority of the position right there, and I closed all the automated position. And just look what it did after. That's potential profits lost, and everybody that's watching this will come at some point have this same scenario. And I just so happen to have it a lot. And it is what it is. Like, I'm not complaining about a win. A win's a win. I got out when I said I would get out, and that's it. That's I guess you could call that good risk management. I didn't think, I'm going to keep holding, because at the end of the day, look at this. I exited at $2, and guess what it did? It went immediately back down to $1.95. I could have entered again, but I didn't. But I exited, and 9 times out of 10, I do that. But the one time I do, sometimes it's usually brutal. And this was one of those ones because we went fucking bananas. We went from $1.95 all the way up to $2.20 damn near. So that trade would have been one of the bigger ones in the program in its history. That was an insane trade, but it happens, But I entered down there. That was a level. I saw the potential. I saw all the people longing. I saw everything that I've been showing you guys, and I decided to take a trade. Nothing clouded my judgment. I wasn't paying attention to the media. Nobody was posting on Twitter, and I'm looking at their analysis and thinking, oh, damn, XRP's going to 50 cents. I came up with that idea in my head. I saw everything that I've been using on my strategy, and I executed. That is how I trade. That is the same way that I've been doing it for 4 years. Give or take a little bit of the strategies changed, but that's pretty much it. And I'm telling you, that's the best way to do it. Literally, when you click a button, walk the fuck away. I know some people that'll sit there, click the button, and by the way, when you click the button, you're immediately in the red. So they're automatically freaking out. They're starting to second guess their position, like, oh, damn, is this really about to go down? Should I sell and re-enter lower? Sometimes they do. It's the psychology of this shit. Like, this is literally trading 101. Just walk the fuck away, right? And if you have a stop loss in place and you know what you're risking and you're not risking too much, and if you lose the trade, it's not the end of the world, then you're going to be fine. There's literally no reason to panic. So when I enter positions like this, it's a no-brainer. And yeah, it just went absolutely crazy. But there's a lesson in there. I never chase a trade. I've been super good at not doing that. And it's something that you can easily slip into when you're trading. But I find that the easiest way to kind of stay away from that shit is by just walking the fuck away and understanding that there's always going to be another trade. There's always going to be more opportunities in this market. Just because you miss one trade doesn't mean you're going to miss them all. It's okay. It's fine. So we entered that one. That was a banger. And then literally days later, wait, I'm tripping. Fucking ego boost right here, dog. I said we could enter down here, but I didn't. No, motherfucker, I did. June 26th, automated XRP long at 209. Ah, fuck. Here we go again. Another example. I saw this was a level, right? I saw all the people buying. I said, you know what? I mean, we could go test $2 again, but I'm not really worried about an 8-cent move. I can buy more, lower. I got 2 extra entries. So I entered, and yeah, immediately went up. Immediately went up to 217. I think we closed around 215. 2 trades. 2 trades in a row that I missed out on this 230 pump. It is what it is. Like I said, there's always going to be another trade. And if we don't break above this as I'm recording this, we're probably going to go back down. And guess what? I'll get another shot at it. It is what it is. But that's what I'm saying. Hopefully you guys are understanding the way I think when it comes to trading. It's actually super simple. Like, I'm not underestimating how easy this sounds. This is literally what goes through my brain. Sometimes I'll be in the shower. I'll be like, damn, that looks good. Enter. Sometimes I'll be in the car driving. I'll pull out 3 motherfucking phones. Enter. Sometimes I'll be sitting there watching a movie. Enter. I don't care. I don't have to sit at the computer all day. I know these levels, and I've studied XRP long enough to understand, damn, this motherfucker, when it gets here, it's going to react heavy. And worst case scenario, if it goes a little bit lower, it's even a better buying opportunity. I've been thinking that way on XRP for years, dude, and it's always paid off. So having watched this coin every single day for multiple years now, I feel like I know exactly what the fuck it's going to do. And usually it always has the bigger move towards the end, the later part of the week, like Saturday through Monday. Right now it's Monday. So yeah, I mean, I'm not really worried about it. But yeah, let's go to another position that I entered. Let's see if I have another one. Oh, I think that was the last one we took was 209. Yeah, let's go back a little bit and let's go to the Bitcoin short I did. Okay, so on June 10th, I opened a trade in the automation program at $110,000 flat. Now, if I can go to June 10th on here, you'll see that shit was dead ass the motherfucking top. Okay, so this is, yeah, the 10th right here. The motherfucking top. I entered a trade all the way up here. And you might be asking, Cameron, there's no level. How the fuck did you know that? I saw everybody shorting. Everybody. I was following the whales. I was using the Kingfisher. The liquidity maps kind of looked fucked up. I saw, the coin monitor. You can follow that on Twitter as well. Everything that I was seeing was showing some big outflows coming with Bitcoin. And I was like, shit, dude. I already knew I was going to short up here, but this is just extra confirmation. We don't even have a level laid out here because we don't have enough price action. But you can clearly see that this is a, this is a rejection up here. It was not pushing above, what was it, 110,000, damn near 111,000. It wasn't giving us that opportunity. So I said short. I shorted that motherfucker. Take profit around the lows at 108. And I guess you can understand where this is going. I took profit around 108. And then look at the dump we had after. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. $10,000 move on Bitcoin I missed out on. $10,000 plus move on Bitcoin. But it is what it is. It comes and goes. And I guess the point I'm trying to make with this is all the time. You'll see wins. But I miss out on money all the time, and it's just part of it. I think, really, when it comes to risk management and everything else, there's so many ways that you could really fuck yourself. It's just discipline, and it's patience, and it really is understanding that there's always going to be another opportunity, because I could have chased the whole way down. I could have entered here like I did, and I could have, took profit here and then re-entered. I see some people doing that shit. They close their trade and then re-enter at the same entry. It doesn't make sense. Maybe it makes them feel better because they cashed out the play. I mean, I've done that before many years ago, but, I could have entered, didn't. I could have entered, didn't, and we went lower. It is what it is. I don't give a fuck because there's always going to be another opportunity, and I'm not really tripping about it. Let's go to another play, and I'll show you guys what I was thinking. Let's see. We did some more longs on XRP around 215. So this is a big area. Down here, 215 area. This whole time we've been sitting here, This has kind of been make or break for XRP. We either have a massive pump or we have a massive dump. There's really no in between. And 215, I like to kind of enter around this area, even though it's in the gray. Sometimes we might go down, and I'll have 2 extra positions so I can enter. And sometimes it's been where it's kind of like this one. I think this is when I took that play. When was this? Actually, this was June 5th. So yeah, it was around this area. But I entered. It went up a little bit. We took profit at 220. So just quick in and outs. Nothing crazy. Like, you know, I'm not sitting here swing trading a 220 entry. But yeah, I think there's only been one play that I've held for longer than a couple weeks, and it was an entry around 230, and then the fucking tariff shit happened. And I think I might still be holding that one, but it is what it is. I've made more off all these other trades. It just washes out any losses I'm currently holding on that one position. But it happens, and actually, I could probably close that shit right now. We're sitting at entry. This is exactly where I entered that, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what my thought process when it comes to this shit, dude. I have a bunch of trade entries around 214, 219, 214, 227. Let's see. I had automated short at Bitcoin on 111,000 on May 22nd. That one went to profit. 232. That one went to profit. Yeah, just a lot of this area actually, dude. I didn't realize how much I traded the fuck out of this area. That's all we've been doing. Deadass, when we have periods like this on XRP, it's a lot easier to predict moves inside this range right here than it will be in this range up here, right? When we're above all-time high, it's a no man's land, right? So that's what I'm saying. Finding coins that you really can just study and see how they move is going to be crucial. And I might be biased, but I think XRP is one of the best ones to trade. And that is crazy because before, in the last year, I never traded XRP. It was Ethereum. And then it was Bitcoin. And then it was XRP. But yeah, pretty much that's it. Really, when it comes to trading, I did an automated short on May 11th at 104,000. I think I closed that at entry. Sometimes I do that as well. When I'm in a position and I'm not feeling it after a minute, like I think I held that one from 9 a.m. to 2:37 or 12:37. Held that shit for a couple hours. I wasn't feeling it, and I exited at entry. But there's been a lot. I'm just looking through the shit right now. There are so many plays that we have taken. We did and you know, you'll see them at different prices and shit too. I'm just trying to kind of give a breakdown of my trades and then something you can expect in the automation program. We did one at 96,000 on May 1st. Target 94 to 95K. We went to 95K literally 2 days later, and we were up 1,000 pips on that. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. When it comes to my strategy, there's really not much to it. And I know that sounds crazy because you're sitting here, you're thinking, I got a damn magic ball over here. I'm doing all this fucking wizardry. No, I just follow what the big dogs are doing. Like, how fucking hard is that? And that's what's kind of ironic about it is because it's not hard, but for most people it is hard because their mindset's not there and they're fucking off and they can't handle themselves. You know what I mean? They don't know how to control their impulses when it comes to clicking a button on their phone. Surprisingly, that's your fucking biggest enemy right there. But yeah, a lot of great entries. We have, let's see, in the program, we entered one April 30th. That shit went crazy. Let's see. April 9th is when the tariffs started. We opened an Ethereum long. Oh, let's go over this. This would actually be really good for the Volume 4. This was insane. And when I talk about missing out on money, I talk about missing out on money. It's fucking crazy. So we entered this play on Ethereum. Let me find my real chart. Here we go. So we entered this play on Ethereum at 15.24. So we entered all the fuck way down here, dude. 15.24. Now I entered this shit, closed my eyes, walked away. Within a day, went down 100 pips. So Ethereum made like a damn near $100 move all the way down to 1,400. Damn, 1,300. I held the whole thing. And at that point, I'm deep. That went above my risk that I was wanting to use on that shit. It was a mistake. I wasn't paying attention. And this was the first Ethereum trade I'd done like a year. I entered the shit. I'm like, I know this is the bottom. You can't time it perfectly. We're at the yellow line. We dipped a little bit lower. That's called a liquidity sweep. We went down. Took a lot of fucking people out. And then immediately we rejected, went back up. And I held that bitch for a month straight. And I closed up here in the low 2000s. And then you could see everything I missed out on. Almost another Fuck, dude. Another 1,000 pip move, damn near to $3,000 on Ethereum. It is what it is. And actually, in the Discord group, the private Discord group that we have for the top tier automation program, I did a little market breakdown, and we actually called this 200. What was it? Let me look. Let me look real quick, just so you guys don't think I'm capping. We called that 2100 dip right here. So I do these market updates in the private group. Let's see. Yep. So I did a little Zoom meeting right here, and as you can see, it says targets Bitcoin 110K ish for short, Ethereum to 2100, and then XRP long at 220. So yeah, we went down to literally exactly 2100 damn near. So I didn't enter that one either. But like I guess the whole point I'm trying to make with this is that there is so many opportunities to make money, and you will miss out on a lot of them. So will I. It's part of it. There's always going to be another trade. Never trip about it. But when it comes to the levels, this is really one part of the puzzle. But in my opinion, it's the easiest. And when it comes to taking trades, it's like, I don't know. The best feeling you'll ever feel in crypto is making your first $1,000 day. When you make your first 1,000, you'll be like, oh, this is crazy. And something that I wish someone would have told me, because I never really realized that, is that there's never going to be enough, right? You're going to make $1,000, then you're going to make 10K, then you're going to do 20K, and then you're going to do 30K. And before you know it, eventually, if you keep it up, you're going to have a 100K plus day. And literally, the dopamine hit that you get is so much greater when you have nothing, when you're first starting off, than it is when you've done it a million times over. And I think that's where I kind of live through you guys. The best feeling I get when I take a trade and it's profitable is seeing the fucking hundreds of results and testimonies you guys send in. Thanks, Cam. This was fucking killer. I didn't do shit. Made money. It is the best feeling I have ever felt in my life. And I think that's where I get my dopamine. And that's what makes me want to just keep trading. It's so good. And then on the vice versa, when we have a bad day, it's the worst feeling ever. It really is. And I love trading so much. And I think if you take a lot of what I say and you run with it, build off of it, do good with it, you're going to enjoy this shit too. It doesn't feel like a job. It doesn't feel anything crazy. And I think, with trading in general and just the way it's been portrayed on social media, it is a completely different picture than what you probably think getting into this shit. And, at first you probably are on the charts all the time, studying, doing your thing, researching. But after that, after you've kind of got it down pat, after you've been spending months in the fucking trenches doing this shit, dude, it really does just become wax on, wax off, It's really fascinating. And I guess my biggest piece of advice to people that are really trying to get into this shit and really do it is just stop overthinking. The amount of money I lost in the beginning when I was really overthinking everything, like, it's just insane. I mean, truly insane, dude. And that is probably case in point for everybody watching this video. I know people close to me that trade, and they just constantly are in and out of positions. They're constantly asking me for advice. They're constantly trying to figure out they're just thinking too much about it, And that's where it kind of all ties together. And maybe you're starting to see that. Your brain, your risk management, your patience, everything else is really going to dictate how well it comes to you buying and selling a coin. Because if you have conviction in what you're doing and you really know your shit, you're good. The only real trades I've lost in the last year are trades where I really couldn't control the outcome. Sure, I could have had a stop and got out a little bit earlier, but the main trades were worldly events. The SEC fucking, appealing the case. Tariff dumps, whatever it could be. You can't predict that shit. And neither can you. And losses happen. And the thing I think a lot of people need to hear when they're getting into this shit is, like I said, you're going to lose money regardless. No matter how good you think you are at this shit, you're going to lose so much money. It is what it is. But name a profession that you didn't get kicked on your ass over and over and over again. You're not going to find one. And the great thing about trading is every single loss truly is a learning opportunity. All the times I've lost in the last year or two have been because of my own mistakes. And what happens when I lose? I sit there and think, damn, what the fuck, bro? Like, why did I do that shit? I knew I wasn't supposed to do that shit. I knew I wasn't supposed to be trading weekends. I knew I wasn't supposed to be trading news days. It's just, you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. And And yeah, I really do think that everybody can learn from that. And, like I said, pairs is really the biggest thing. Whatever pair you do decide to do, you just need to make sure you got some moves on that shit. Because there could be coins that you find, that don't move at all, aren't really that popular, that might be good. I just prefer shit that's always on the move. I feel like that's the best, And that's what really drives me crazy is when crypto kind of stands still. There's some periods, like some week-long periods that happen where we'll be sitting inside like a little $1,000 range on Bitcoin fluctuating. That's frustrating, but understanding, when you first start off, I know a lot of you want to make this your full-time job. Don't go into it expecting it to be your full-time job. Why the fuck would you? You haven't even proven it to yourself yet. Go in, trying to learn, trying to have fun, see if you like it. If you really enjoy the shit, you're going to do good. If you go in and you fucking hate looking at charts, you hate money, you hate, trying to analyze shit and follow news and all this stuff, then this probably isn't for you. But if you really want to make it and you've tried a lot of the other online money making shit, you know how much effort that shit requires. This is minuscule. You don't have any employees. You don't have to talk to anybody. You could literally just work off your phone anywhere in the world and just enter trades. That is all you have to do. And if you're like me, you're not entering every day because there's not an opportunity every day. Sure, yeah, there is an opportunity every day, especially in crypto. There's always a trade. But if it's the right opportunity for you is the question. I could enter a trade every day if I wanted, and I can guarantee you my win rate would tank a lot because it's just not. I don't feel it. I don't see it. I don't want to buy here. I want to wait. I don't like doing it in the middle. Like for example, right now we're in between a really big channel on XRP. They're not my favorite positions. I mean, I'll do it from time to time, but genuinely, when we get up here and we're like 230 to 250, this is the middle because you're dead ass. You could go halfway up to $3, or you could go halfway down to fucking $1.90 again. You know what I mean? I like waiting, letting it marinate. It is what it is. I might miss out on short-term money, but at the end of the day, if you're winning more than you're losing, you are going to pay yourself big. And yeah, so the three trade rule, like I was telling you, 1, 2, 3, I think is the best thing that you could do when it comes to this. And it gives you a lot more leeway because I think the biggest thing when it comes to like disappointing yourself or getting in your head is thinking, damn, I got the wrong entry, man. I should have fucking re-entered. If you do the 3 trade rule, you kind of eliminate that whole thing. You kind of eliminate that whole thought process of, oh, fuck, man, I should have entered 10 cents lower. Okay, enter. Go see if you can go 10 cents lower. Save some of your ammo. Buy. See what happens, You might, like I said, you should not be blowing your whole account on any swing trade like this. If you're blowing your fucking account, you're doing it wrong, man. Like risk management, not leveraging too much. All the information I told you in the other ones is critical when it comes to this. But yeah, when it comes to XRP, that's pretty much it. I love this coin. My chart will be down in the description, and it was in the last video as well if you want to get an attachment of this. I will go ahead and, some people sit there. I've gotten some questions, like, why don't you trade Forex, for example? I don't like Forex. I don't like any of that shit. I really don't like that shit, dude. And I think if you try to trade it, you'll find out really quick that it's probably not for you either. Dude, I used to live with someone in Beverly Hills. His name was Sonny. And he would sit there, and he would be awake at like 1 a.m. every fucking day. I forgot what session. What was it, New York? I don't fucking know. But he would trade, and he was good at it. But he would trade there every fucking day. He'd just be up at 1, 2, 3 a.m., some shit. And I'm like, bro, that's just, like, fuck that, dude. Fuck that, bro. I want to be able to trade when I want to trade, and that's it. And, like, you don't want to get this to the point where it starts to feel like a job, because then I feel like that starts to fuck your psyche up a little bit. And I won't lie. I'll touch on this for a second. I know a lot of people look up to me in terms of trading, and they want to be like me. But I want you guys to understand that I have periods of stumps too. We all have winning streaks. We all have losing streaks. I'll be completely transparent with you guys. When Donald Trump got in office, I was overly bullish. And keep in mind, I started this program at the height of the bear market. For the first year and a half of this program, I was only shorting. I mean, I called the whole motherfucking move down on Bitcoin from 70,000 all the way to 15,000. I called that whole thing down. And the amount of ridicule I got, you're crazy, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. why the hell are you shorting? Oh, you're going to burn in, like all this crazy shit, death threats, dude. I started Tradeship University at the height of the bear market. And when Donald Trump and that whole election thing was going on, not going to lie, man, I was more optimistic than I think I've ever been in crypto. And I think it kind of fucked me up for a minute, because if you guys go back and look at the chat, February, March, April, minimal trades. I really wasn't trading because I was so clouded by my judgment of bullishness that I was like afraid to trade anything else. And it took me a minute to kind of get away from that and be like, remember who you are. Remember what you do. You make money regardless if this bitch goes up or down. And I started getting in the cycle of relying on the news. Like I was like, fuck, the news didn't say anything good today. What the fuck, man? Crypto's not doing anything. I started to get to that point, and it really fucked up my trading. It really did. I lost out on a lot of money doing that. And I kind of had to remove myself from all that shit and kind of realize, like, okay, we might be in a bull market. The next 4 years might be great under Trump. But regardless, I need to stick to the plan and not let an outside factor dictate my strategy. And that's what I've been preaching this whole time. Don't follow the news. Follow what the big dogs are doing. And you'll always be led the right direction. They are not going to be wrong. These motherfuckers run the world, dude. And if you think that, you, with however big your bag is, can go against the billion, trillion dollar machine, you're wrong. You can't. So if you can't beat them, why not join them? Why not? Right? So that was some real shit that happened this year. It was some real shit, and it is what it is. But, you always got to look forward. There's always going to be another trade. And what I want to leave you guys off with, because this is a big part, entering the trades, how I do it. When you get to this point where you're entering and exiting positions, just remember there's always going to be another trade, okay? That's the biggest thing that you can learn from this episode, is that there is always going to be another trade, and you are never not going to hit a trade and wish you got a little bit more. That's just natural. It's human, right? So understand beating that in your head, beating the, oh, fuck, man, I just closed early. Damn it. Fuck, I need to enter again. And you're just kind of FOMOing. You beat that shit out your head, I can guarantee you'll be a fucking millionaire in this shit. I can guarantee you will be a millionaire if you can beat that fucking one single thought out of your head. That thought is what fucks everybody. Along with all the other shit I've told you. But that's probably the biggest. No bullshit. That is probably the big. I see it every single day. And I get people that angry at me in the program too. Sometimes I'll close a trade. They're like, why the fuck did you close? Or it is what it is. It is what it is. You are going to do the same thing. Everybody does the same thing. Wall Street does the same thing. We as just regular civilians that don't have access to the machine, and we only get fed the bullshit manipulation that they show on the news, we got to take what we could get. And, we're always going to have an opportunity. But that's the game, It's a big sea of fish, and these motherfucking sharks are eating up everything. And if you could just learn to be that fish that kind of hides away, you go out and eat when you need to eat, and then you go crawl back into your fucking, what's the shit called? What's the damn shit called? Ooh, what the fuck's the shit called? Oh my God, no way I'm going blank right here, dude. What does Nemo go scratch his butt against? What does he go scratch his butt? Carl? No, that's not Carl. What the fuck am I talking about? Coral? Coral? I think it's coral. Don't quote me on that. But be the fish that goes out and eats, goes back into your cave, and just waits. You're looking out, you're seeing everything, and you just wait for your opportunity. You, my friend, are going to win. I do hope you enjoyed. This is probably one of the easier parts of the strategy, is just entering some of these trades, because the market will give you the opportunities. You just got to learn to take every single one of them, and the ones you miss, get it back in blood the next time, baby.